All right, welcome to today's yoga class. I'm Yoga Mat Pat, and I'm going to help you stretch out. So I set the timer on the Fitbit to 15 minutes. That's where we'll cap it. Let's get started. Bring your feet together, bring your hands over your head, interlace your fingers. This is one of my favorite stretches for a better posture. You might find that your arms can't go completely vertical without you projecting your chest outward, and that's fine. That just means that you got some work to do and you got to stop rounding that back at your desk. I'm going to lean a little bit to my left. I'm going to lean a little bit to my right. I'm going to do what feels good while I'm in this position. One thing I'm thinking about, though, is I'm keeping my shoulders out of my ears. The goal with all of these movements is to keep the breath calm, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your face calm. Once you feel like you're holding your breath, you either have to breathe out of your mouth or you have to dial the stretch back, dial back the intensity. I'm going to switch the interlace of my fingers, which means that the other index finger is going to be on top. I'm going to go back up for just a little bit longer. I'm going to focus on keeping my head aligned with the rest of my body because I tend to have that forward head lean from working at a computer and wrestling for the last couple of decades. Getting a little stretching by just gently rotating the spine left and right. Come on out of it. Let's separate the feet about 3 feet apart. I'm going to have you turn your left toes out to the side. Lean to the left. Look up at the right hand. This is called triangle pose in yoga. It's one of the most fundamental poses. I like it. It's easy to get into. It's an easy warm-up. Looking up at my hand allows me to stretch out the muscles of my neck. We'll switch up sides. Right foot gets turned out. I like to picture there's a wall in front of my thighs and my chest, and I'm not trying to touch that wall as I hinge to the side. Come on out of that. Turn both feet forward. Hinge at the waist. Put your fingertips on the floor. Just hang out here for a little bit. I'm going to go back and forth between keeping my spine pretty neutral with my fingertips just touching the ground, and then rounding my back, flattening my hands, bending my elbows if my body allows it. Taking long breaths into the body. Through the nose. Through the nose. So go at your own pace here. Come on up when you're ready, and then just go right back down into a downward dog. Now, you can't see here because of the angle, but there's a good 3.5, 4 feet apart between my hands and my feet, and I'm pushing my ass backing up. Legs are straight, arms are straight. I like to think about grounding the whole part of my hand, the inside, the outside, the fingertips. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right arm, I'm going to reach it back to my left outer leg and grab onto it. And that's going to give me a bit of a spinal twist. I like this one. Big fan, big fan. Switch it up when you're ready. Lower on down into a child's pose, ladies and gentlemen. Butt sits back on the heels. This body's tight. Tight! Did jiu-jitsu last night. Played soccer over the weekend. if I don't do this stuff regularly, I just walk around stiff and it's just not comfortable. So this is maintenance for me. Got to do this stuff. All right. I'm going to have you guys pop into a bird dog. On all fours, extend your right arm and your left leg while you keep your pelvis turned towards the floor. And at this point, I'm starting to go over my body. Is my leg horizontal? Is my arm horizontal? Is my leg straight? Cool. Is my pelvis now out of alignment? Because usually when you adjust one thing, something else goes out the window. It's like life. Switch it up. You can think about opening up the toes, opening up the fingertips. Good stuff. Oh boy, I knew this was coming. Okay. All right, I hope you're at home. I hope you're at home. We're gyrating the pelvis. We're making circles with it. Close the door, hide the kids. Go in one direction. You choose. These are called pelvic bowls. I think I just made that up. I know that's what they're called when you're laying on your back. I don't know what they're called when you're on all fours. Hit the other direction. For reals though, this is good stuff. Now we're going to do the same thing with the rib cage. You're going to make circles with the ribs, drop them down towards the floor, then up to the ceiling. Pick a direction. Okay. We moving on. Sit back on your toes. Yeah, we're going to give those toes a little bit of love as well. I have a very small pinky toe. That thing doesn't even come close to touching the floor. So I'm bearing all the weight of my body on, I'm pretty sure, just my inner three toes. I don't even think that ring toe, if that's a thing, touches the floor as well. But anyway, we're sitting back on our heels. I'm going to have you reach up and back. If you find that you can't sit back on your feet like this, it means that you just need to do it more often. And you can put a little blanket between the legs, but to be honest with you, we're going to be moving on. So you can either pause the video or just realize this is something you need to do more often. But it's good for the feet, just to even sit like this. Now this is called camel's pose. You're going to reach back and grab onto your heels as you lift your butt off of the heels. And you're just going to look up. And this stretches out the entire anterior chain of your body. Anterior means front. So we're talking about the chest. We're talking about the abdominal wall, the hip flexors, the quadriceps. All those things that tend to tighten up as we age. We curl into balls as we age. And this kind of shit helps us stay youthful. Come on out of camel's pose. And Patty opted in for another downward dog to give you guys a side angle this time. So take a lookie. As you can see, there's pretty much, oh God, we're coming out of it. Your left knee's coming forward. Hold it. Getting a little bit of abs in here. That's what this is. Is your right leg straight? Let's switch. Now your right knee's forward. Foot's hanging off the ground. Okay, I kind of just spurred this on you, but we're going back and forth, guys. We're going back and forth between a one-legged downward dog and this knee to chest in a push-up position. You know, I do what feels good. That's what I do. Switch up sides. Okay, that looks kind of nice, doesn't it? Okay, right? Straight line from heel to hands. Okay, okay. Okay. So step forward. Step forward with your left foot. We're going to do like a standing psoas stretch. Reach up with the arms. The psoas is the hip flexor muscle, and we're giving the one on the right side of our body a pretty good opening right now, just by being in this position. We'll switch it up when you're ready, so you can just step forward, then step back with your left foot a fair amount, drop that knee a little bit towards the ground, reach up. And this is me just playing around, dropping my knee to the floor, and then straightening out the leg. That's what a lot of this is about, guys. I mean, there's definitely a part of this whole practice where you got to learn some of the foundational movements, but there's also a lot of room for play. And unfortunately, playtime's over. So